The Infinite and the Divine by Robert Rath. Act 1, Maiden World. Chapter 1. Before the Emperor revealed himself, before the rise of the Aeldari, before the Necrontyr traded their flesh for immortal metal, the world was born in violence. So at the beginning of the universe, there was a bang! Woo! And all the things went flying around. And you know what was born during this time of creation? You have one guess, and you're probably going to be wrong. It was an angry planet. It had lots of volcanoes and stuff, making lots of archipelagos. Archipelagos? I'm gonna go with that one. So this was an angry planet. And then some evolution happened. It started with the microorganisms, and then they had coral cities, and then they had fish. But they were still very unintelligent. A little silly, if you will. And then there were lizards! They emerged with legs and muscles and hearts and blood. This carried on for a while, until one day, an evolved lizard saw some weird stars in the sky. And they thought, wow, that's a bit weird. I'm gonna throw up and go and hide in a cave. So they did that. The lizards hid in the cave. And then these stars got closer. They got closer and they came down to the planet. And then their bellies opened up and out came some little guys. These little guys will name this nameless planet, and then it won't be so angry anymore because it'll have a name. We're gonna go straight into chapter 2 because that is the entirety of chapter 1. So we're now talking about the Aeldari world of Sephel, 10,000 years before the Great Awakening. Thy hand shall curl and turn black, thy back teeth will glow white hot, thy bones crack like fire logs, for I have drunk from elder suns. This is an Aeldari song about a gemstone that was a meteorite, and it absorbed the energy of stars from the ones it flew past, and warriors could call on it to channel the gods. But there's this guy. He's just a chill guy. Trazyn doesn't believe in Aeldari folklore, for they are a silly people. From his travelling, collecting and studying, he learnt that everyone thought their mountain was special. He taught them about tectonics and alien relics, but they didn't like that, and they told him to fuck off, essentially. He knows gods exist because he'd helped kill them, but most society's gods were just charming imaginations. He still wanted the gem though. Now Trazyn is in a temple. He has some Lich Guard outside, perfectly still, in uniform. His Lich Guard are outside, standing completely still because he woke them up too early and their brains got messed up. He's watching through the captain's eyes, and he can see that the Aeldari are throwing shuriken and stuff. And there's a big lizard with a cannon on it approaching. But a doom scythe comes along and lasers it and its head falls off. And Trazyn says, pity. I wanted one of those. Even though the Exodites were primitive, they can overwhelm him and his small guard. He didn't bring many people. And Sephel was awakening to protect its world spirit. Trazyn is in a corridor. He's a little corridor boy doing his little corridor things. He is calculating a route. He can see that there's traps, pressure plates, suspicious rocks. He walks. Darts come from the walls, but he's made out of metal. It does nothing to him. He catches one of them and looks at it. It is tipped with exotic poison from local marine life unique to this planet. And he puts it in his filthy pocket thing. and stands on a pressure plate by accident. He's a silly boy, and it causes a rock to come down. Oh no! But Trazyn has a stasis field thing on his hand, and he stops it so he doesn't get squished. And now the rock is just kind of there. I'm gonna put it there so you can just see the gate behind him. He approaches the gate. As you can see, it is a big Aldari gate with the gods etched into it. It's very pretty. And there's a fiendish riddle written in runes on the door that would stop even the wisest if they did not know the obscure lore of the Hyliac Seween. And he walks through. He didn't have time. He didn't want to wait. He didn't want to work out the answer, so he just Googled it. We are now in the spirit chamber with white and gold marbled floor and the bones of a great lizard flawlessly interwoven with wraithbone. Such artistry and devotion. He wished he could take the whole temple and have it whole in his historical gallery on Solemnness. Not to be confused with the Death Guard ship, the Solace. There is a large lizard skull, twice the size of Trazyn, flawlessly interwoven with the wraithbone, like I said. And it has orange eyes, and it looks like it's got antlers. And the gem is in its brain cavity. This is a Carnosaur's skull, he thinks. He goes and looks at the gem. He studies it quickly. The degradation, the beam-cut gem surfaces, possibly dated from the war in heaven. It's not often I meet things as old as me, he says to himself. But oh no! While he's been distracted, he's being ambushed. Some dragon riders have arrived. They crept up on him because he's deaf to warp sorcery. There are 20 cavalry with tattooed sharp faces and wraithbone spears on raptors. They start fighting. Rah, rah. He's doing his best to fight, by the way. There's a voice that starts speaking to him in his head. It's not audible, and it can't be telepathy because he's immune to it. It must be wavelength psychic pulses from a farseer. He's ignoring it, but it just keeps talking. Trazyn, who is called Infinite. You will not keep what you seek. Listen to the song. This world sings for the blood of Trazyn. This world spirit is our ancestry, Trazyn. Our culture. Our dead. And it will wither without the soul gem. We have long known that you desire it. But if you take it, the world spirit will die. While they're talking in his head, he kills one of these, and he makes a run for it. But he doesn't get very far, because there's a Carnosaur! And the Carnosaur's like, "You're right, bud. Let me just pick you up in my big mouth real quick." And then he's dead. Trazyn is dead. That's it. That's the end of the book. See you later. Next book will start next week. That's it.